in any chronological order, but I think this is.
Yeah, this is my first. But I hope I get a second time, but they gotta vote me in.
It's an interesting board to be on.
It is.
Yeah.
It's kind of stuff.
Do we have a quorum?
I learned a
Yes,
lot.
we do.
Oh, let's see.
We are a quorum.
Pardon?
We are.
Call to order.
We are a quorum.
Today's meeting of the Municipal Code Enforcement Board is called to order on October 23rd, 2019. Welcome, everyone. Would you please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? Hey. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Please be seated. Agendas of today's meeting are on the wall at the entrance to chambers. Please remember to turn off your cell phones. The Municipal Code Enforcement Board consists of 7 members who are appointed by the City Council. We serve voluntarily. It is this board's intention to promote, protect, and improve the health, safety, and welfare of the citizens of Clearwater by providing this equitable, effective, and inexpensive method of enforcing certain codes within the city. The board considers new business items in 2 parts. First, a violation, then the affirmative relief. Formal rules of evidence do not apply. Each side is limited to 15 minutes. The board may grant additional time. All proceedings will be conducted in a calm, civil manner. Individuals who conduct themselves otherwise will be asked to leave. If necessary, they will be escorted from the chambers. Now I will ask all who plan to speak to please rise and be sworn in by the clerk.
Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth throughout your entire testimony?
Approval of minutes. Our first order of business is to review and approve the minutes of last month's meeting. May I have a motion to approve the minutes?
I move to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Item number 3, is there anyone here who wishes to speak on to items not on the agenda?
Good afternoon, Board. Ken Pieslak, Code Enforcement Manager. I'd like to take this opportunity to introduce you to our new Code Enforcement Inspector, Jason Hauser, and welcome him to our great team.
Welcome aboard, Jason.
Thank you very much. All right, anybody else? All right, new business items. 4.1, case 182-19, find respondents. Patriot Petroleum Distributors Incorporated at 1725 Drew Street in violation of code for sign maintenance and issue an order with the compliance deadline and fine if compliance is not met. Are they here? Inspector Knight, is this a declaration?
It's not.
So I would need a first on the admit. That's an admit, they're not here.
I move to find respondent in violation of the code as referred to in the affidavit in this case.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Inspector Knight?
Hello, Board. Daniel Knight, sign inspector for the city. This is case 182-19 for 1725 Drew Street, and the one violation at the property is for sign maintenance. The city is asking for compliance on or before November 23rd of 2019, or a fine of $150 per day that the violation exists. We are asking the board to authorize the following. After 3 months from the recordation date of such lien, if the fines and fees remain unpaid, the city's attorney's office is authorized to foreclose, collect, or settle such lien using any legal, equitable remedies under the law. Compliance can be met for sign maintenance by repairing and or replacing the attached sign so that it's in good condition, free of any damage, rust, discoloration, fading, and or peeling paint or other elements. Removing the sign will also bring compliance. This is the 7-Eleven on Drew Street. This was a complaint that got called into me. And if you look here, we have some peeling of the tape from the sign. I did reach out, the property management people reached out to me right around the time of the compliance date and asked for an extension. They said they were going to fix it. It just didn't happen. And I haven't had any contact with them since. questions for me?
No, it's, as I said, it's been there a long time.
Yes.
Can I make a motion?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I move to enter an order requiring the respondent to correct a violation on or before November 23rd, 2019. If the respondent does not comply by that date, the board may order a fine of $150 per day per violation for each day each violation continues to exist. If fines and fees remain unpaid 3 months after such lien is filed, the city is authorized to foreclose, collect, or settle such lien.
Do I have a second?
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's carried. 4.2, case 183-19, fine respondents, Gulf to Bay Developers Diversified LLC at 2094 Gulf to Bay Boulevard in violation of code for prohibitive signage and issue an order with compliance deadline and fine if compliance is not met. Are they here?
The city is seeking a declaration for this
Oh, good.
violation.
Okay, good. So we need a motion on a declaration.
Okay. I move the fine respondent was in violation of the code as referred to in the affidavit in this case. The violation was corrected prior to today's hearing, and enter an order that no fine be imposed. If the respondent repeats the violation, the board may order a fine of up to $500 for each day the violation continues to exist.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's carried. 4.3, case 184-19, fine respondent, Central NP Clearwater Mall LLC at 2607 Gulf to Bay Boulevard in violation of code for delinquent business tax receipt and issue an order with compliance deadline and fine if the compliance is not met. Are they here?
Not here, Mr. Chairman.
You scared them all away.
I move to find the respondent in violation of the code as referred to in the affidavit in this case.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Inspector?
This is the property of Clearwater Mall. Daniel Knight, sign inspector for the city. This is case 184-19 for 2607 Gulf to Bay Boulevard. The one violation, which is a zoning violation for BTR required and a BTR yearly renewal. The city is asking compliance on or before November 23rd of 2019 or a fine of $150 per day that the violation exists. We are asking the board to authorize the following. After 3 months from the recordation date of such lien, if the fines and fees remain unpaid, the city's attorney's office is authorized to foreclose, collect, or settle such lien using any legal or equitable remedies under the law. Compliance can be met for the zoning violation by making sure that all operating businesses at the property have a BTR or business tax receipt and renew it by September 30th each year that they remain in business. Compliance can also be met by having any business operating at the property without a current BTR refrain from operating until one can be obtained. The original problem at the property where there was, I believe, a total of 4 businesses that did not have business tax receipts. 2 of them just didn't have one, and 2 were delinquent. 3 of the 4 came into compliance. I have spoken to management for Nukes, informed them. They showed me their delinquent BTR, told them it needed to be updated, and just nothing happened.
That's our favorite lunch spot.
I'm
That's a great place.
sorry.
Or
No,
was.
that's okay, you're doing your
Or
job.
was, yeah.
Was.
You know, so it went delinquent. They had one, or did they never have one?
No, they did have one, and it went into a red status, which means that they haven't paid for at least 2 years.
A red status is when they're delinquent.
Right. You can still be delinquent and not be in a red status. If you haven't paid for 1 year, you're not considered red by the standards of our system. But after 2 years, it becomes red in a red
Gotcha.
status.
Yeah, I'm amazed. So when they come in to renew it, they gotta pay for 2 years, right?
They have to pay the late fees that have accrued since then, plus
Yeah.
the back years. Yes, sir.
So they've known for 2 years.
The fees right now are at $1,132.44.
Wow, that's amazing. I'm surprised to
Do you
hear
think there's a reason, I'm just curious, why in 2 years they haven't renewed it?
When I walked in there, the manager seemed very confident that she had an updated BTR. When she showed it to me, I pointed out that it was for the 2016-17 year, and she said, "I'm sorry, I'll get right on it," and that was a month ago.
It's $150 a day.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm surprised, but good job.
Yeah, well, thanks.
All right, well, we have a first, right? We need to-
I'll move, Mr. Chairman.
Okay.
I move to enter an order requiring the respondent to correct the violations on or before November the 23rd, 2019. If the respondent does not comply by that date, the board may order a fine of $150 per day per violation for each day each violation continues to exist. If fines and fees remain unpaid 3 months after such lien is filed, the city is authorized to foreclose, collect, or settle such lien.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That's carried.
Board.
4.4, continued to December 18 of this year. 4.5, case 186-19, find respondents, Florida Diversified Enterprises Incorporated at 1801 Rainbow Drive in violation of code for hauling trailer, and issue an order with the compliance deadline and fine if compliance is not met. Are they here?
Not here.
Inspector Fletcher?
Declaration.
It is okay, good.
Declaration, okay.
I like declaration. Yes, sir.
I move to find the respondent was in violation of the code as referred to in the affidavit in this case. The violation was corrected prior to today's hearing and to enter an order that no fine be imposed. If the respondent repeats the violation, the board may order a fine of up to $500 for each day the violation continues to exist.
Second.
And a second here.
Oh, that's, oh. I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. You gotta yell.
He's
All
soft-spoken.
in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Hang on, Mr. President, we have
Yes.
somebody present.
I'm sorry, can you speak up, please?
That's me 524 McClennan Street, that's my address.
That's our next.
The next case.
That's the next case.
All right. She's helping us.
I don't blame her.
It's quite all right. 4.6, case 187-19, find respondents, Regina Flowers at 524 McLennan Street in violation of code for fences, and issue an order with compliance deadline and fine if compliance is not met. Regina, would you come forward, please? Oh, come right up here, please. Would you tell us your name, please?
Regina Flowers.
And were you sworn in there?
Oh, yes.
Do you admit or deny?
I admit
You admit
what?
to the charge?
Oh, yes, I need a fence.
So
Yes.
you do admit?
Yes.
Okay, listen, if you'd have a seat right in the front row there, we're gonna bring you back, okay? And I need a motion on that.
I move to find the respondent in violation of the code as referred to in the affidavit in this case.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We're gonna hear from Inspector Fletcher, please.
Vicki Fletcher with the City of Clearwater Code Inspector. This is for case number 187-19 for 524 McLennan Street. There's one violation here, Code Section 3-80881, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 for fence and walls, and Code Section 3-803 for design requirements. The notice of violation was sent on August 6th of 2019 with a compliance date of 9/6/2019. I did receive the certified mail on 8/19/2019. This is a picture of the front of the house on 9/9, on the right side of the house. There is some wooden fence there, but in the front, the fence panels have fallen down and they've put in a tarp up for it. And this is the left side of the house where the gate's falling off. This is a closer picture on 9/16. There was another violation there for grass parking. At the time, it had stopped, the grass parking, so that's why you see that car in the picture. When I went back on October 18th, the tarp was still up and the gate's still hanging off.
Okay. Any questions for the inspector?
No.
Regina, would you come forward, please? Regina, what do you have to say?
I just can't afford it right now.
Okay.
I truly, and I've been looking for somebody to help me, with the fence. I went to Home Depot and tried to get an estimation, could they come out and, see how much it costs. He said $4,000, but I kept on, I kept on looking and stuff. I can't find no one. I did have a lawn man for several years, but because of financial situation, no.
Regina, you know, you're a nice person, and you admit, and I can tell you're sincere.
And it looks bad, you know, I
Yeah.
don't like the way it looked either.
So here's the thing, you know, the city is seeking compliance. They want it fixed.
Yeah.
As a body of people here, we can help you with time. You know, they've given you a date to comply, and then you come under their radar, and we don't want that. It gets more expensive. If we were to give you, say, 60 days, would that help you?
Yes.
I mean, that's an option. If you just do nothing and ignore it, it's not gonna go away, and it's gonna compound.
Okay, if I can't get the fence at that point,
I would be calling the inspector, get her number.
yes.
And ma'am, Inspector Fletcher, can the gentle lady correct a violation by simply taking the tarp down?
You can take the tarp down and the gate down
Thank you.
and the 4x4s, or take the whole fence down. I mean, you don't have to replace the fence, but you have to take down fix what you got going on there.
Yeah, I would, you know, I like my privacy, and it would be great if I could have opportunity.
But at least that's an immediate
financially.
option.
Right,
Right.
okay,
So what you're doing then is at least it's not gonna look so bad,
yeah.
okay?
Yeah, get
And
that tarp out of there.
Yeah.
that tarp and that broken gate, they're not effective, they're not giving you any privacy, anybody.
I know,
through
I
there,
know.
You know, so,
Take them down until you can find a way to replace it. It's a good option. The city's giving.
Are we okay
You
with 60 days?
can't do it yourself, you can ask a neighbor or a friend to
Well,
come
we
over
don't
and knock
need
the
that
whole
extension.
tarp down, that's all.
We don't need 60
well,
days.
I think what we should ask for is that the gate and the tarps be taken down in a timely manner, and then everything else extended until the problem is
Thank you.
resolved to the city's
Okay.
satisfaction.
Well, what, if she takes that down, then it's not in violation anymore. So she
Okay.
can take as long
Yeah,
as she
that's
wanted
what
to.
I'm saying. We don't need
My
60
goodness.
days.
About how long do you think it would take you to get the tarp? And
To an hour.
I got to find some folk to help me out, that's what I've been doing, so give me a little bit of time.
Well, you can take down the tarp yourself
Yeah, because I put it up, you know, the
Yeah, there you go.
and just move the gate.
Okay,
And the
so
fence you can find help for if you need
you
to.
have a
take
friend that can come over this weekend and just tear that gate, I think it's almost there, you know, it's not to take that gate down.
Okay,
So how about we gave you 10 days to do that, or to the end of the month, okay?
I need to cut my backyard, so I won't let it expose too much for now.
Well, you're gonna have to do that anyway, but at least you'd have this issue taken care of,
Okay.
okay?
Yeah, your yard's not the issue.
Okay,
Just the-
All right,
just the
let's make a
fence.
motion.
Take down the tarp, get somebody to help you disconnect and move that fence somewhere.
Well, I can
That's
Need a
okay.
second
And you'll be
motion.
done.
and,
We need a
we need a
recommendation.
Yeah,
We need a recommendation
Right.
from staff.
Yeah, they never give their recommendation.
well, we've heard it.
No, we haven't.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm
We just
sorry.
gave the
Would you have one
motion.
more seat,
Down.
please? I'm sorry. Regina, just have another seat in the front row. We'll hear what the
We're
city says.
skipping over Miss Fletcher.
I'm sorry.
So the recommendation for case 187-19 for the fence is requesting compliance on or before November 2nd of 2019, or a fine of $150 per day for each day the violation continues to exist. We are asking the board to authorize the Code Compliance Division to take all reasonable actions, including entry onto the property, to abate and maintain the nuisance and charge the violator with, that doesn't even belong there.
I think that's more.
Compliance can be met by removing or repairing or replacing the fence, and a permit will be required if she decides to replace the fence.
But not to remove.
No.
Okay, that's a good option.
Okay, very good. Regina, did you hear that? Come on for it.
We have to record you, Virginia.
oh, okay.
Did you hear what the city said?
You can repeat it.
They're giving you till November
Second.
2nd to take that tarp and that fallen down part of the fence. Take
Oh,
that,
okay, yeah.
take that
That's
out.
a
But
week.
if you don't
And
do
you'll be
that,
fine.
you're gonna have a fine about, starting then at $150 a day.
I'll do it when I get home.
There you go. There you
Got
go.
that nailed down.
Good, good. Thank you
Yeah,
very
I'll
much.
put it up there, you know, yeah.
We were to
That's a
do-
very good
All right,
decision.
we're gonna make a motion.
Okay. I move to enter an order requiring the respondent to correct the violations on or before November 2nd, 2019. If the respondent does not comply by that day, the board may order a fine of $150 per day per violation for each day each violation continues to exist. If fines and fees remain unpaid 3 months after such lien is filed, the city is authorized to foreclose, collect, or settle such lien.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Well, good luck to you. You're welcome. 4.7, case 188-19, find the respondents Joseph and Eleanor Holmes at 923 Bruce Avenue in violation of code for short-term rental, and issue an order with compliance deadline and fine if compliance is not met. Are they here? Come on down, sir. Would you state your name, sir, for the record?
Yeah, Joe Holmes, Joseph Holmes.
And sir, were you sworn in?
Yes, I was.
You were, okay. Do you, not a declaration, is it?
It is a declaration.
Oh. Okay, well, we can make that.
We'll make this go away.
Yeah, I mean, unless you have anything you'd like to say.
No, we chatted and.
Yeah, good. I like that.
I move to find the respondent was in violation of the code as referred to in the affidavit in this case. The violation was corrected prior to today's hearing, and to enter an order that no fine be imposed. If the respondent repeats the violation, the board may order a fine of up to $500 for each day the violation continues to exist.
I need a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's carried. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
sir. Yes,
Thank you.
You're welcome.
thank you. Yeah. Okay, moving on here, 4.8, case 189-19, find respondents Christine Dorselius at 214 South Highland Avenue in violation of code for residential rental business tax receipt, and issue an order with a compliance deadline and fine if compliance is not met. Are they here? Is this declaration?
Yes, sir, it is.
Declaration.
Okay. Are they here? No. Okay, so I need an order to put that one away.
I move to find the respondent was in violation of the code as referred to in the affidavit in this case. The violation was corrected prior to today's hearing, and enter an order that no fine be imposed. If the respondent repeats the violation, the board may order a fine up to $500 for each day the violation continues to exist.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 4.9, case 190-19, find respondents Carmen Silverman and Nancy Burris at 1603 North Osceola Avenue in violation of code for short-term rental, and issue an order with the compliance deadline and fine if compliance is not met. Are they here? Declaration?
Yes, sir.
You
Wow,
have
you're
a
doing
way,
good.
Miss
I
Phillips.
like
You
that,
have a
man.
way of doing that.
Boy, they're all pretty when I see you come.
Usually it's a long process, you
It's a
know, you're
long
doing good.
process.
I will move to find the respondent was in violation of the code as referred to in the affidavit. In this case, the violation was corrected prior to today's hearing, and to enter an order that no fine be imposed.
Second.
Well, you gotta finish it.
If the respondent repeats the violation, the board may order a fine of up to $500 for each day the violation continues to exist.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
You just don't like to
That's
read.
carried. 4.10, case 191-19, excuse me, find respondents Robert and Dawn Tartuski, at 692 Bayway Boulevard, Unit 301, in violation of code for residential rental business tax receipt and short-term rental, and issue an order with a compliance deadline and fine if compliance is not met.
Go for the
Yes,
record.
Tell us.
She's on the
All right, I need a
wall.
motion.
It's a declaration, terrific.
I need a motion.
I move to find the respondent was in violation of the code as referred to in the affidavit in this case. The violation was corrected prior to today's hearing, and to enter an order that no fine be imposed. If the respondent repeats the violation, the board may order a fine of up to $500 for each day the violation continues to exist.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's carried. 4.11, case 192-19, find respondents Petrucci Family Trust, Joseph and Jamie Petrucci
Where did I miss that?
Trust at 692 Bayway Boulevard, Unit 304, in violation of code for residential rental, business tax receipt, and short-term rental, and issue an order with the compliance deadline and fine if compliance is not met.
Also a declaration.
You've been a busy lady.
Yes, I have.
Wow.
Good.
I need a motion.
I move to find the respondent was in violation of the code as referred to in the affidavit in this case. The violation was corrected prior to today's hearing, and to enter an order that no fine be imposed. If the respondent repeats the violation, the board may order a fine of up to $500 for each day the violation continues to exist.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's carried. 4.12, case 193-19, fine respondents Stefan and Susan Vendima at 692 Bayway Boulevard, Unit 303, in violation of code for short-term rental, and issue an order with the compliance deadline of fine if compliance is not met.
It's also a declaration.
Good for you.
You're kidding.
I move to find the respondent was in violation of the code as referred to in the affidavit in this case. The violation was corrected prior to today's hearing, and to enter an order that no fine be imposed. If the respondent repeats the violation, the board may order a fine of up to $500 for each day the violation continues to exist.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's carried. Good job there, Inspector.
I have a question for Inspector Phillips, though. Some of these look like they're condominiums.
Yes, sir.
Okay, doesn't the condominiums bylaws control whether they can do short-term rental or not? Not the BTR portion, I understand that.
They have to follow the city's ordinance and they have to have a proper use. In this particular instance, they have attached dwellings and they need to change their use or amend it to resort attached dwellings.
Okay, thank you.
4.13,
Good question.
Yeah.
case 225-19, fine respondents Angel Investment Group of Tampa Incorporated at 1044 North Madison Avenue in violation of code for housing code violations, and issue an order with the compliance deadline and fine if compliance is not met. Are they here? No? Inspector Espinosa? Yep, I see her.
We need a motion?
I move to find the respondent.
Hold on, just one second. Is this a declaration?
No.
Oh, okay, go right ahead.
I move to find the respondent in violation of the code as referred to in the affidavit in this case.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's carried. Inspector?
Just a moment, please. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you.
Housing Inspector. This case is for 1044 North Madison. It's a housing case. It's one violation under the housing case is 10 issues. And this pertains to the maintenance, heat, kitchen, smoke detector, requirements for electrical system, the interior, roof, protective railings, windows, and extermination. Notice the violation was set July 31st of this year. Compliance date was for September 12th of this year. Certified mail was delivered on 8/3/2019 and also sent regular mail. Notice the hearing was sent out on the 17th of this year, September 17th of this year. Certified mail was received or delivered, August 3rd, 2019. And affidavit of posting was done September 17th. This is where the place is, excuse me,
What is this?
it's north of Palmetto, and, take this off. It's over by the Jack Russell Stadium. Okay, so this is electrical. There's covers that, for outlets that are broken. This right here is missing the little switch. Termites. That's on the windowsill. Bugs. That's also termites. Smoke detector not working. This is another one. It's in the same room. They have two. One The previous picture was on the other side of that lamp, and this one is underneath that lamp. Got holes in the wall, peeling paint, cracks. This is also on the windowsill. As you can see, there is peeling paint. This is not sealed up. This is at the bottom. Should be sealed up so no bugs can get in, rodents. Again, peeling. Again, there's a hole right there where the arrow is. This is also like this. This is a wall in one of the bedrooms. This is the stove. The bottom drawer is not closing properly. This is a tarp on the roof. Still there? No, I'm sorry, they removed it. Don't know if it was fixed or not. No heat in the house. Cold months earlier this year, she had no heat. Windows not opening. Again, more electrical issues. This is outside in the backyard. They have, this is 4 steps up. They need to have protective railing. There's none on that side. There's one on this side. But as you see, that's what's in it. So when you use it to go up, it rattles back and forth. It's not safe. I didn't feel safe using it. This is the front of the house. This is the posting. When I went there to post it, he has a tenant in there already. And I'll let you deliberate.
This is a single-family home,
Yes, ma'am.
and it's rented out.
When I went on the 17th of last month to post it, there was a tenant in there already.
And the tenant let you in to inspect?
It wasn't this tenant, it was the previous tenant.
And this has been going on for 5 months now,
That's ridiculous.
because your photographs said June.
July. Yeah,
What's your recommendation?
okay. Oh. So, for the one violation, it's on compliance on or before November 29th, or $150 per day. And after 3 months from the recordation date of such lien, if the fines and fees remain unpaid, the city attorney's office is authorized to foreclose, collect, or settle such liens using any legal or equitable remedies available under the law. And compliance can be met for the housing case to apply and obtain all required permits, repair all housing issues, and call the inspector to do a final inspection.
So these are all under one umbrella, these 10
Yes, sir.
issues?
All these
Yes,
issues.
It's one violation, 10 issues.
yes, sir.
Okay. Well, we can handle that.
Mr. Chairman, my problem with this isn't the homeowner living there and something like that.
Right.
And so the owner of the property is renting it out, he has income coming in. This has been going on 5 months because the photograph said June something, so that's 5 months for me, okay?
Right.
And I think to get some, and he's been dragging his feet, I think a fine of $150 does not have any motivation attached to it,
I agree.
okay? And I think there's a big difference between a homeowner that lives there and somebody who's making a buck off of it.
Well, what do you want to make it?
$250.
$250.
Yeah.
I'm good.
50 sounds good. I'm good.
I'm good.
He
We
can
good?
move on. I mean, there's nothing, nobody
I
held
think you're
him
too
back.
generous. There were a lot of violations
There
there.
was.
And
And
it's
we're
only
not
one
getting them for
violation.
each
Yeah, my
violation, we're
goodness.
getting them for a pot of violations.
Are there children in that house?
When I went out, the former tenant had, I believe, was 3 children, a baby and 2 toddlers.
What was that tenant, Ms. Espinoza, what was their reaction when you went there the first time?
The reason I got called out originally was because there was a leak, and he, according to what the tenant told me, she reported it to the landlord. He wouldn't fix it. Her water bill went up to
Okay.
1,000 something. By the time I got out there, she reported it, and I got out there, he had fixed that leak. But then I found these other issues.
Oh, okay.
I would like to fine them per issue.
That's what I thought we was gonna do, yeah.
Well, the way.
Well, I could,
the way
if you
we
want
have-
to do that, I'll go to the 150 then. I have no problem with that, because that'd be, what, $1,500 a day, yeah?
Here's the way I conceptualize the fine. There's 10 things they need to correct. You could fine them 150 per, and then it's a $1,500 a day fine. Or it would be $150 a day fine that continues to accrue until all 10 things are corrected. So if they correct 9 things, but they let the 10 things still go, you still have $150 a day fine. So I think the remedy is essentially the same, but it seems to be at least a little less harsh for homeowners. We're not going at $1,500. If you go $250 a day, and you have 10 things, every 4 days, that's $1,000. So over the course of a month, that's $30,000. Over the course of a year, it's $360,000. The point I try to make is at some point, those numbers just become so exorbitant, we don't even know what to do. Which is why I advise them to do it. If it's a housing violation, here's how you fix the housing violation. You do all these 10 things. You don't do all these 10 things, the fine will continue.
So if you look at the photographs that were displayed, okay, there wasn't anything that said that you've got to go to Home Depot and spend $4,000 for a fence, you know what I mean? They're not that much, it's just neglect on this person's part, and he needs motivation is the way I look at it. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's how it appears to me.
Ben, in our motion here, do we need to put the language in of a permit and wanting that inspected, or do we just read the motion as
He
it is?
just needs to get it in compliance and let him figure out how to do it.
Yeah, my understanding is you would just have to put in the motion as is.
Oh, okay. All right, we need a second motion, and we're going with 250.
What's the date that you asked for?
I believe I said
The 9th.
November 29th.
I got the
I think
29th, I'm sorry, yeah.
He's got a good point too, because
The 29th of November.
if he's not
Give them
spending,
some time to come in and take care of the issues and call me.
Okay, so,
Yeah, November 29th.
okay, so getting better part of, he's getting a month plus, and so I think the 250, in the time given, he should get this thing resolved.
I agree.
but
I move to enter an order requiring the respondent to correct the violations on or before November 29th, 2019. If the respondent does not comply by that date, the board may order a fine of $250 per day per violation for each day each violation continues to exist. If fines and fees remain unpaid 3 months after such lien is filed, the city is authorized to foreclose, collect, or settle such lien.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
aye,
That's carried.
Sorry, who was opposed?
Two of us.
two.
Thank you.
4.14, case 226-19, find respondents, 2017 1IH or 1H borrower, LP at 2692 Beaumont Court, in violation of code for housing code violations, and issue an order with compliance deadline and fine if compliance is not met. Are they here? Come on down, please.
Somebody's got a phone.
Inspector, this is not a declaration, is it?
No.
No, okay. Would you come forward, please? Tell us your name.
It's Erin Demian, I'm a regional maintenance manager with Invitation Homes.
Could you just real quick spell your name?
ERINDEMYAN.
I'm sorry, what was that again?
EMYAN.
Thank you.
My name is Melinda Suarez, and I am the Portfolio Director for Invitation Homes, MELINDA. Last name is spelled S as in Sam, OARE, S as in Sam.
Thank you.
Aaron Courtney, Maintenance Supervisor, Invitation Homes.
And what is your name?
Aaron Courtney.
Okay, Mike, the city okay with? Okay, do you admit or deny?
Dina.
Deny. Okay. All right. Well, tell us why.
We are denying due to the fact that we have tried to fix the issues that should be resolved. Since the beginning, we've spent over $25,000 on the home itself, trying to get up to code, and the resident that is in the home has been non-compliant with scheduling.
They've also been threatening our vendors. It's a safety hazard to send people into this home at this point due to the current resident, and it's in litigation, so we are unable to enter the home while it's pending eviction.
Okay, but you do
So you
admit,
have filed for eviction?
We have,
We
yes,
have
sir.
filed.
Okay, okay.
right, you do admit to the charges though, right? I mean, the violations exist,
There are violations.
There
in the
are
law.
violations.
but you can't get to them.
That is correct.
So we don't know what, actually, the current state of them at this point. I couldn't tell you if they were compliant or not
Okay.
because we can't access them.
Oh, that's interesting. Listen, why don't you have a seat in the front row there? We'll hear what the inspector has to say.
Present tenant is here too.
Is what?
The present tenant.
The resident is here.
Oh, yeah, come on down, sir. Anybody related to this case, come on down.
Make sure they're sworn in.
All right, you guys, have you been sworn in?
Yes.
And would you just tell us your name for the record?
William Jack Frost Sr.
I'm sorry.
William Jack Frost Sr.
Would you spell your last name, please?
Frost. I'm Russ, R-U-S-S, Smith.
And you guys are tenants.
I'm tenant, he's HOA president. So he asked me to come when I got here today to say that I've been on the board about 5 years, president about 3.
Right.
We have had past issues with the Invitation Homes, some have been corrected, some have had to be redone. And that's my only role in this.
So borrower or HLP, they're not here, right? Or is that you? Oh, okay.
The IH is Invitation Homes.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Could we find out what Invitation Homes is?
It's a property management.
I'm sorry, real quick, I just need you to come to the
Sorry.
podium for the mic.
We are a property management company. We own, but we also manage the property itself. So we are the homeowners, and we also,
So you rent it? You own and rent?
Is the deed to this property in the name of 2017 IH Borrower Limited Partnership?
that is correct.
And is that, and you're
A
associate?
representation.
You're a partner in that?
I am not a partner, I am the portfolio director, so this home is in my portfolio, so I am representing Invitation Homes in this matter.
But you can speak and you can bind 2017 IH Borrower Limited Partnership.
That is correct.
Okay. Inspector?
Good afternoon again, 2692 Beaumont Court. No, there's been also housing court, housing inspector. Okay, so there's one violation. What happened?
Sorry.
Okay. Thought we had ghosts. Okay, one violation under the housing codes. There is 5 issues. One being maintenance, another kitchen, smoke detector, interior, and structural support. Okay, notice of violation was sent out on June 20th, 2019. This has been going on since July. I want to say end of June, July. Compliance date was for 10/21/2019. Certified mail was received on 9/9. Was also sent regular mail. It was also sent via email to Invitation Homes. Notice of hearing was posted for 9/17, was mailed out 9/17 this year. Certified mail was received on 8/3/2019. And affidavit was posting was done September 17 of this year. The house is just south of Curlew and just, what's that, east of 19, sorry. And it's off of Countryside Boulevard, you can reach it. This is a stain up in the ceiling. This is, they have like a little bar area instead in the family room. This is up above in the ceiling. That's the area right there. This is the framing for that little bar area down at the floor. You can see that it's starting to deteriorate. This is outside. This is for the pool cage, and it's deteriorating badly. That's another picture. That's another one. This is in the kitchen. This is a cabinet. In the back, you can see in the front, it's starting to deteriorate. When you open it, go look straight in the back. Where the arrow is, that's starting to sink down. That's the posting.
Question, how were you made aware of this?
The tenant, Mr. Frost, called
Okay.
the city.
Okay. And this is a freestanding house, it's not a villa or anything like that?
No, sir, it is a single-family home.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you didn't show us a picture of that, did you? Of the house? We just
An
saw,
exterior picture?
we just saw a map.
Yes, I didn't show you, I'm sorry. No, don't have it.
Okay. Why don't you tell us your recommendation?
Okay. Honor compliance before November 29th, or $150 per day per violation. That shouldn't have been there. It's per day. After 3 months from the recordation date of such lien, if the fines and fees remain unpaid, the city's attorney's office is authorized to foreclose, collect, or settle such lien using any legal or equitable remedies under the law.
I may have missed it, I'm curious. How did you find out about this property and were you inside it?
The tenant called, made an appointment with me, and I went up there and he allowed me in and showed me.
All right, so he was cooperative.
Yes, he's always been cooperative with me. I can't speak to anything different than that.
Inspector, let me get this straight. So this is a single-family house?
Yes, sir.
And what are they, renting out rooms?
No. It's a family that lives in there.
So who's stopping you from having contractors come in there?
That family.
I'm sorry. Why don't you let them come back up? You slide. Tell me again what you told me at the beginning
So,
here.
a little background on it. We actually, when we received the violation, I actually made 6 calls to try and reach Ms. Espinosa. I did have to reach her supervisor to get her to actually get in contact with us. We did schedule for her to meet with Aaron on the property, walk us through these violations, show us what was going on. We had a contractor set up that would make sure that everything was covered under all of that, because we're taking these seriously and we want to make sure they're rectified. From there, we started to get the contractors rolling and things like that. There were several instances on the property where the resident threatened their safety, threatened their well-being.
All right, stop right there. Who's doing that?
The resident is.
The residents are these two.
That is, well, just one.
Correct.
So when a vendor would come out, he threatened that he had guard dogs and to not come on property. He threatened with physical violence if they came to his home again.
Stop again. I'm sorry. Who threatened you with physical violence?
The resident threatened our vendors.
The vendor.
Which resident? This resident?
Yes.
This resident, yes.
Did you call the police?
There is a police report filed for, I know, at least one incident on the property.
Do you have that?
I do
Not
not.
with me, but
Do
we
you have
could
a record
provide
of
that.
that?
We could provide that to you.
However, I do have a copy of the driver's license of the actual resident that applied for the home, which is not this gentleman. There was some falsification on the documentation, and so he is in itself an unauthorized occupant in the home, which is why they are under eviction, because under the lease that they signed, every single person over the age of 18 has to go through the same type of screening process, and he and his family are not on the lease.
Okay, so who's living in the house? Mr. Frost?
Mr. Frost's son, which is this gentleman, because this is actually
And that's
Mr.
the only
Frost.
two.
No, he has a wife and children as well.
That's not supposed to be there.
That is not supposed, well, this is Mr. Frost Senior.
Okay.
I'm not sure who he is.
You have an eviction notice on them,
We do have an eviction.
and you're stating that you can't comply because of that situation.
That is correct.
Okay,
So
I-
we are asking for an
I see
additional
the
time
picture
to
now.
get through that.
Okay.
And how much time do you need?
Until the eviction is completed. In that case, we are waiting on attorneys to work together because Mr. Frost also has an attorney which is now in litigation.
Okay, so typically, how long does an eviction take in Pinellas County?
About 3 months.
3 months. And how long ago did you start the
It
eviction
was,
process?
it was filed on the 14th of September, or of October. We had to get permission from
Okay,
our
that's
attorney.
fine. Okay, so you're looking at another 2 months for, if eviction is granted, for it to take place?
90 days, well, 3 months. So we just filed on October the 14th.
Okay, so you're looking at 90 days?
Yes.
Okay.
May I inquire?
Yes, sir.
Ma'am, who's your attorney's name?
Michelle
Teskin.
Tecson.
And has council filed, and has the tenant filed a motion to determine rent?
I'm not sure what his attorney has filed, but we do have documentation as well from his attorney.
And is there a reason why your attorney chose an eviction instead of an unlawful detainer, and you could have used summary proceedings under 51011?
Because he is an unauthorized occupant in the home, which is a breach of contract.
So are you trying to evict this gentleman, or are you trying to evict the gentleman, the father who's on the lease?
We are trying to get the unauthorized occupants either out of the home, or they need to comply with the screening process. In this time frame, we're not able to enter the home as long as there's litigation.
And so you have not, and so I'm clear, you have not filed an unlawful detainer action, which would have been quicker.
Well, I don't know what has been filed. We did file a police report to have the police come out, and at first we thought it was of identity theft because he is clearly not 72 years old. So with that in mind, we did file a police report and have the police investigate the fraud. It happened to be his father, who is not pressing charges.
And ma'am, do you have a copy of the case number?
The case number for the police report, I do not.
No, the eviction.
The eviction, just a moment. Oh, that's just.
Give her the time.
Yeah, they approve it.
60 days.
Give them 90 days. I don't think they're going to.
Sorry. I do not have that at this time, but I can provide it for you.
Okay. Are there any other questions from the board? You know, go ahead.
There's so many problems here that really don't pertain to the code and all that stuff. I think we should, I personally think 90 days for them to get their evictions part straightened out and be done with it. Everything else, there's nothing we can do.
No, I'm in favor of that. We can give you more time.
We appreciate that, sir.
Yeah, that way you can get your problems solved.
And correct the violations. We'd be more than happy to do that for you.
And then seek compliance.
Chair, I'm sorry to interrupt. We do need a motion.
Oh, I know.
First motion.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm gonna,
I'll make a motion.
Okay.
Oh, geez.
Well, she denied, right? In the beginning, she denied. So, yeah, we need a motion.
Yeah, she denied.
Okay. I move to find and respond in violation of the code as referred to in the affidavit in this case.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Now we need a second.
I move to enter an order requiring the respondent to correct the violations on or before January 26, 2020. That's coming. If the respondent does not comply by that date, the board may order a fine of $250 per day per violation for each day each violation continues to exist. If fines and fees remain unpaid 3 months after such lien is filed, the city is authorized to foreclose, collect, or settle such lien.
Thank you, sir.
Wait just a minute, we got to vote on it.
We need to have a second.
Second.
Vote.
All in favor?
Aye.
So here's the thing.
That's carried.
Your attorney needs to speak to the city's attorney and let them know exactly what's going on.
I would just ask these people to please stay, because they're actually the next.
Yes, we're next as well for the next
Yes.
violation as well.
Is this the same property again?
It is the exact same property.
Okay,
One
now
is
this
for
property-
permit, the one violation is for permits, and the second violation is
All
for.
right, yeah, let me read that, just don't go far, we're ready to move on to it. 4.15, case 227-19, fine respondents, 2017, invitation, I.H. Bauer, LP at 2692 Beaumont Court in violation of code for permits, and issue an order with the compliance deadline and fine if compliance is not met. So are you denying that also? Ma'am?
I'm sorry, yes.
Are you denying that one?
Yes, sir.
It's you need time.
Yes.
We're gonna copy the, okay.
Yep.
All right, is there anything you want to say on this particular case?
It's the exact same.
It's, okay. Inspector?
Okay, just bear with me.
Need to make a motion, don't we?
Yeah, right, we'll make a first motion.
I move to find the respondent in violation of the case as referred to in the affidavit in this case.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Inspector?
Okay, just bear with me. Okay, so it's one violation. Compliance on or before November 29th. It's $150 per day. Again, it shouldn't be per violation, but it's okay. After 3 months from the recordation date of such lien, if the fines and fees remain unpaid, the city attorney's office is authorized to foreclose, collect, or settle such lien using any legal or equitable remedies available under the law. Recommendation is to apply and obtain the required permits.
And that permits for those issues.
Permits would be for the front door that was installed. It's different from what was there before. Fence that was installed, no permit. Also, there was a vent in the stove installed. No permit for the electric, don't know where it's venting out.
So this is work that has already been done?
Yes, sir.
And you're seeking permit for that. So this is different than the other situation?
The housing, yes.
There's nothing, access has already been obtained and work has been done. Okay. Got that one. Thank you.
Any other questions for the inspector? Is there anything on this case you'd
The
like to?
same contractor, so when we met Ms. Espinosa out there, we brought the contractor with us so that she could go over.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
To the podium.
We,
And could you slow down a little? Thank you.
sorry. I'm just naturally a fast talker.
That's okay.
So when we sent Erin out to meet with Ms. Espinosa, we had a general contractor go out there to meet them so she could point out exactly what we needed to do to resolve this issue. It's the same contractor that's not being allowed in the house. They were going to do all of this under one big giant umbrella and knock all the work out, all the permits, everything needed all at one time. So everything kind of got put on hold when we started having the issues in the home with the resident.
No, it sounded like to me that some work has already been done and was all going to be done under one permit, so where's that permit?
No, I'm saying the general we were notified that the work, we use a vendor management company, we hire out vendors that come out and do this work for us.
Sure.
So we're now having to go back and on things that somehow a vendor did not follow through with their part of, we're having to follow up with. But that's our responsibility, that's what happens when you use a vendor. So we're having to go back and get those in there. So we hired a general contractor who would be able to fix any past problems that we had accrued over this time. We've done an extensive amount of work in this home from the day the resident moved in. We've already put over $25,000 in this home, trying to bring it up to his standard and where he'd like it to be.
So you spent $25,000 without having a permit?
They were all separate individual jobs. No, I'm not saying that.
Oh, okay.
I'm not saying we never pulled any permit. I'm saying over the period of time since the resident's been in the house, there's been so many different things done in the house.
But the situation here, ma'am, is that you haven't done all this work without a permit.
For those specific items she's listing. We're not saying we've never had any permit.
Okay, so you still need to get a permit for the work
Correct.
that you did, and you don't need to have access to do that, do you?
Well, we have to know exactly what all we need permits for. What exactly,
Well, okay, I'll tell you what. Apparently, you all are managing this piece of property,
correct.
and what you just told me tells me a lot about how you're managing it. I understand. Thank you.
But the inspectors told you what you need on your permits.
Right, so the vendor was put completely on hold. So,
Has nothing
I know,
to
but
do
you
with
could-
him going,
yeah.
he has access to this utility building. Come on.
You could go
Got a
get your permits yourself. You could pull those
Online.
yourself. Because she's told you what permits you need.
Of the items.
I do not have it.
We do not have the exact list of what is needing a permit.
if we can
that
be
is
provided with that
required.
list, we'll be more than
So,
happy to go obtain those.
Today is
Okay,
the
well, she-
first.
she just
He
told
just
you.
cited it.
She's got it.
A door,
Yes,
fence, and a
She
vent.
did just cite it, yes.
Yeah.
But on the
The actual
violation,
violation
it
itself, it
doesn't
does
list
not
specifically
specify.
what we need permits for. It just
So,
says that
do
we
you
need a
have her
violation
number?
permit.
What you need to be is in contact with her.
Well, hold on. May I clarify for a second?
Yeah.
Ma'am, did you testify that you went out there with the contractor and the inspector, and the inspector told the contractor what they need the permit for? Wasn't that what your
I
testimony
did
was?
not go out to the home.
Well,
You
what
went
did
out
you-
to the
I
home.
was out there at the home.
Okay, so you already know what you need a permit for?
Well, they looked at it. There's an electrical problem in the kitchen where they had to replace something on the stove. It was a vent. They don't know exactly what they need the permit for without getting back into the home and drawing the permits for it, obviously. The fence, yeah, we know the fence is there. The door, they gotta take measurements of the door. I mean, the permits, you gotta have the exact size of the door opening. You
But
can't just
that
go pull
door
a
was
permit
already
and say change the door,
replaced. That's the
right?
thing, sir. That door, they're talking about the door that's hanging there now.
Yes.
It replaced something that was there before it. For some reason, it was replaced.
Right.
And when that was done, it was done without having a permit.
Yes, sir.
And that's the issue.
Yes,
It's
sir.
not the work that has to be done yet. It's the work that has been done.
But in order
And you
to
keep,
get
and you keep doing this and that. No.
In
No,
order
so the
for us to get
contractor that was going to pull the permit for the door to correct the issue has to have the measurements and everything for the door to pull the permit.
You can look at his purchase order. Then you
He
know what he
didn't
bought.
do the door to begin with.
Well, who did?
A previous vendor, that's what she was saying.
Okay, so where's that invoice? You should have it, right?
Correct.
Well, the point is that you don't need 3 months to go pull permits. You agree with me on that?
No, we don't need that.
So November 29th, you can get all these permits done.
That's
All right,
fine.
that's all.
Yeah, that's
All
fine.
right, let's make a second motion. Or do we make a first motion?
I'll go ahead and make a motion.
Yeah, make the first.
Have we made the first one?
Yes, I made it, yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Thank you.
Dan did, okay, so make the second.
Okay, I move to enter an order requiring the respondent to correct the violations on or before November 29th, 2019. If the respondent does not comply by that date, the board may order a fine of $150 per day per violation for each day each violation continues to exist. If fines and fees remain unpaid 3 months after such lien is filed, the city is authorized to foreclose, collect, or settle such lien.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's carried. Well, good luck to you.
She has a
Yes.
question.
May I get the city attorney's information so our attorney can contact that person?
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, we don't have that. so
and you
we-
have the inspector's phone number, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, good luck to you.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. All right, moving on. 4.16, continued to November 20th, 2019. 4.17, case 228-19, find respondents Kogler, Jean A. Estate at 135 Brightwater Drive, unit number 4, in violation of code for unsafe building, and issue an order with the compliance date and fine if compliance is not met. Are they here? No? So Inspector Cantrell,
Jason Cantrell.
this is gonna be an easy one, right?
I sure hope so.
Declaration, Jason?
Yeah.
It's not that easy.
Well,
Jason, is it a declaration?
it's not a declaration, so I guess since they're not here, you
Okay,
can,
yeah, we'll make the first motion.
I move to find respondent in violation of the code as referred to in the affidavit in this case.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Mr. Cantrell.
are you gonna wanna see the photos, or should I just?
Unsafe building, I would like to see them.
Okay.
We love photos.
Yeah.
Okay, this property is, it's 135 Brightwater Drive, and it's on South Beach.
An unsafe building on the beach.
This is an unsafe dock, another one.
Oh, dock.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
This is the first photo from June 22nd. You can see the boards are falling in, the dock's falling apart. In between that time, I had noticed the owner who is deceased, and then I had re-noticed the estate's representatives as well as their attorneys. So in between June and this photo, October, I can't read it, 8th, they did put up some boards to keep people accessing it there, but that's all they've done. And you can see here, the walkway is pretty much completely gone.
They were probably hoping Irma or another one would take it away.
Possibly, I don't know. There's these are all on October 8th. They do have bids to get the work done. They were asking for a continuance, and I told them they needed to come in and ask you. However, they didn't come in. So I guess we'll move forward with our recommendation, which would be to repair or replace any areas where deterioration exists or damage, or deterioration or damage exists to meet current Florida building codes. Complete demolition of the structure is also an option for compliance, and all work must be properly permitted. We are requesting compliance on or before November 23rd, or a fine of $150 per day that the violation continues to exist. Additionally, we're asking the board to authorize the city of Clearwater to enter onto the property to correct the violations by any means necessary and any reasonable cost to be applied as liens against the property. After 3 months from the recordation date of such lien, if the fines and fees remain unpaid, the city's attorney's office is authorized to foreclose, collect, or settle such lien using any legal or equitable remedies available under the law.
Okay.
I have a question. So have they requested a permit? Do you know?
They have not.
Okay, so you've checked, okay.
No neighbor complaints?
Actually, the complaint came from Code Inspector Dixon. He noticed the dock when he was there, citing the building for numerous code violations.
Definitely unsafe.
Yes.
So the building itself is also undergoing code
Under
violations?
scrutiny.
It is, I believe, you'd have to check with Greg, but I
To your
believe you
knowledge,
found
sir.
it in violation for his issues.
Separate issue.
That's, land is gold.
Yeah, I remember
Yes, it
that
is.
building is under scrutiny. We've handled that case. We've
Mhm.
heard that,
It's
yeah.
Mauritius Street.
It's on Brightwater.
Mhm.
Well, any other questions? The city, have anything to say? No? Let's make a motion.
Why don't you make it down here?
You can't.
Been too quiet.
Go ahead.
You're too quiet.
He's too shy.
Building one.
Pull the trigger. Second motion, page 1.
It's unsafe building.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
Page 1.
And you guys screwed me up. I moved to enter an order
Unsafe.
requiring the respondent to correct the violation on or before November 23rd. If the respondent does not comply by that date, the board may order a fine of $150 per day for each violation continues to exist. The city may take all reasonable actions, including entry onto the property to bring the property into compliance and charge the respondent with all costs, which may become a lien on the property if costs, fines, and fees remain unpaid for 3 months after such lien is filed. The city is authorized to foreclose, collect, or settle on such lien.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's carried. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Well, you're on this next one's been continued.
Continue.
4.18's been continued to November 20th, 2019. Okay?
Very good, thank you.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you, Jason.
You're quite welcome. 5 unfinished business. 5.1, accept the affidavits of compliance as listed. Unless otherwise, is there anybody here to speak on any of these?
Well,
Let's do those first.
Starting with 5.1.1. Sir, what are you?
he's non-compliant.
5.5. Wow, where is that?
We don't have.
5.1
Oh,
Something else.
wow.
through 5.1.
That'll be another hour or two.
No.
I'm just kidding.
Mr.
Okay,
Chairman, so,
yes, sir.
um,
Are we gonna bundle all these?
they're all,
Let's do
these are
the
all complied.
affidavits.
These have all complied, so we don't have
okay.
any non-compliant.
Okay, so I need a motion to accept the
I
affidavits.
move to accept the affidavits of compliance as listed.
Second.
And that is all the way to 5.1.16,
Right. As listed.
as listed.
Yeah.
He second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So that's carried. I like that.
Okay.
Okay, 5.2, case 98-19, accept affidavits of noncompliance for respondents Jacqueline Estate at 1,000 Grantwood Avenue for fences and walls, exterior surfaces, doors and windows, and window maintenance. Are they,
We could do them all.
Well, he's here.
Ask for him. So-
so is there anybody on any of these other than 5.5? You're saying there is?
Yes, there's somebody here for.
Two people.
What number is yours?
Sir, I don't know the case number, I just know the
5.3.
Oh, 5.3. Okay, so listen, let's make a motion to accept 5.2 and 5.4. They'll be out of the way, and then we'll hear these two.
5.4 is withdrawn.
What about 5.6 and 5.7?
Oh,
How about let's take them in order?
listen, okay, so,
Take them in order.
Let's
yeah,
take them in order.
5.2 that I just read.
I'll-
They're not here, can we make a motion?
Yeah.
This is to accept the affidavit.
Regarding item 5.2,
Yes.
case number 98-19, I move to accept the affidavit of non-compliance and issue an order that states the fines and fees remain unpaid 3 months after such lien is filed. The city is authorized to foreclose, collect, or settle such lien.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 5.3, case, 5.3. Is that you back there?
Yeah.
48 members.
Jonathan Greenstead?
Yes.
Let me read it. It's 5.3, case 106-19, accept the affidavits of noncompliance for respondents Jonathan P. Grinstead at 48 Midway Island for permits.
Oh, my street.
That's 5.3. Come forward, sir. Are you Jonathan?
No, sir. Jonathan Grinstead is the homeowner. He lives in Boone, North Carolina.
Right.
I'm the tenant. in the
What
process.
is your name, sir?
I'm sorry. My name is Lance Hidalgo, Hidalgo.
Good move.
Lance, what is
This
it?
is
Were you
the
sworn in?
renovation of the pool area and all
Yes, sir.
that from a few months ago.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Were you sworn in, sir?
Yes, sir. I
Okay.
was.
The city okay with Lance representing this property?
Well, my understanding is Mr. Hidalgo has an attorney who's not here.
That is correct, sir.
So,
Continue.
if he wants to go and talk, I guess he can go talk.
Well, can we resolve anything with him here?
The lawyer?
No, this gentleman up here.
He can speak if he wants to speak.
And what do we do with it? I mean, just
Once we have the
Do
information.
I mean, do you want us to close this out, or what do
continue.
you want to do?
Yes, please, let's let him speak.
Okay.
Go ahead, sir.
Sir, yeah. So my attorney, I sent him the notice about our court date, and he tried to reschedule. He's in Gainesville right now on another court.
Yeah, we got the letter. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, but they told me that I still needed to show up.
Right.
And just, represent myself, but at the same time ask for the continuance till the 20th. And it wasn't to delay it, it was just because he couldn't be here. I can tell you, though, that I have since then got all the engineering, applied for the permit, everything that was requested, and it was submitted. And we're waiting, it's second time back from plan review, and we're supposed to have an answer by Friday. And then I've also had Gibson Marine go out today, and tomorrow I'll have a bid on a new seawall. So if we can get the continuance, we'll be able to resolve everything
I
at
remember
the
your
next
case.
hearing.
You were the tenant there in building?
Yes,
You
ma'am.
rented that building? I mean.
Of the home at 48 Midway, yes, ma'am.
So
you
we're
should
not
have
seeking,
somebody that interested.
we're not seeking compliance here, you're seeking an extension.
For just right now, until the 20th, sir. But I have tried to comply with everything.
Okay. And I don't want to speak for Mr. Root, but the problem, and I don't mind continuing the hearing, but what the gentleman needs to understand is that if the board finds that the compliance was not met by the compliance date, which has already passed, the fine will be imposed. Okay, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, he doesn't get more time. I'm not agreeing to extending the compliance date. I'm simply agreeing to continue to next month, if you're okay with that, the acceptance of the affidavit of non-compliance. So that if the board accepts the affidavit of non-compliance, it would issue an order establishing a fine that would be retroactive to, when was the compliance date?
Board meeting
We don't
was-
have any of that in front of us here.
The original board meeting was June 27th. The deadline was September 1st.
So that if we would extend it to next month, which is fine, basically this is a hearing to give really the property owner the opportunity to dispute the fact that the city is saying that the property is not in compliance. If we're wrong that the property is in compliance, then no order issuing a fine would be issued. But if we continue it to next month, he still has to prove that as of September 1st, the property was in compliance.
No, I'm with
If
you.
it wasn't in compliance on that date, we get the fine going back to September 1st.
So we're not
I want
gonna-
the gentleman to understand that.
So are you saying that 30 days from now, and if it was extended and went 30 days from now, he would have faced also another 30 days of fine?
No, well, yeah, because if the compliance hadn't been met,
His
it'd be no
fine
different than if
meter-
you issued an order today,
Right.
and then 30 days passed, and then he complied in 30 days.
His penalty's been running since September 1st.
Well, the penalty begins to accrue when the board issues that second order, entering the fine. which is what we asked you to do today.
Okay.
But the compliance date was September 1st. So the fine was retroactive to September 1st. If you issued an order today, you'd have, 60 days at $150 or whatever it is. If you issue the order in November, he has 90 days at $150. So it really doesn't matter. The core fact that we're trying to decide right now is whether or not, as of September 1st, it was in compliance. I don't think it was. I don't want the gentleman to walk away thinking that he gets another 30 days to comply, because that's not what I'm agreeing to. Maybe that's what the board wants to give him, but that's not what we're agreeing to. We're only agreeing to continue today's hearing on the non-compliance affidavit.
I so moved.
Motion on that?
I said I so
And
moved.
your attorney wants the November the 20th, according to his letter.
Yeah, he tried to reschedule. Like I said, I'm not trying to.
That's the next time we meet.
Unfortunately, yeah, because he could meet next week, but unfortunately, your next hearing.
Right.
And you're not in compliance, right?
Well, I turned in all my engineering that was required, and then there was another violation, which is separate on this, about a sidewalk that the homeowner had put in, even though I'm the tenant. And I went ahead and filed all the paperwork and did the ISR calculations, and he was over on the ISR, the impervious surface ratio. So since then, I went ahead and redid the site plan and removed the pavers to fall under that ISR number, and all that was submitted on Monday with all the new calculations and everything, because Mr. Grinstead is in Boone, North Carolina. But it wasn't anything that I did, but I went ahead and did all that paperwork to comply with the building department. I'm not trying to, that's the thing, I mean, that's why I'm here. I mean, I know you guys are busy, and so am I. I'm trying to,
And you correct
I
me if
wanted to
I'm
resolve
wrong.
it today.
Please. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you were the contractor that did all this work, if I'm not mistaken.
That is correct.
Right. And you didn't have a permit when you did that work.
No, sir, I did not have a permit when I did the work.
So I just want to make sure we understand that how we got here.
Yes, sir. I interpret it as a repair. It's been interpreted as a violation,
And
that's why we're here.
So like I said, board, we do not object to continuing the hearing until next month, if that's what you want to do. But what I'm going to argue at the hearing is the same thing I argued right now, which is that it wasn't in compliance as of the compliance date, and therefore an order is creating a fine should be entered.
so,
If we continue it, it costs him more.
Unless if he came into compliance today, then the compliance would have been met today. Technically what we would do is we'd only ask for a fine between September 1 and October 23rd.
When we talk about compliance, we're not talking about the paperwork, we're talking about the job.
Whatever was in the order, and I don't have it.
they're back
I don't have
engineering.
it.
They're taking the paperwork and back engineering it, and then, you pay $500 extra and whatever.
Well, it hasn't been done yet, because he's already said he's.
I don't have a problem. Let's give the man his continuance, and however it comes out, it's to what you asked for.
Okay, yes, sir. I mean, like I said, I paid an attorney and was hoping that he was going to be here today.
Yeah.
And then when he saw the date, he said there was no way that he could make it, and so I had to show up by myself, which I didn't.
What is it with attorneys?
Well, how much notice did he?
I mean,
How much notice did he give you that he couldn't be here today?
A week. I sent him the paperwork as soon as Mr. Grinstead
I'm ready to
received
make
it.
a motion.
Okay, go ahead.
And
I make a
then,
motion that case 106-19 be recontinued on the November board meeting.
November 20th.
That's the 20th.
Yes.
Thank you.
The 18th.
18?
Are you sure?
Yeah, I got it right here.
Got a
Okay.
calendar?
That's next year.
That's next year.
Oh,
That's next year,
year.
yeah. This attorney's got.
no, I don't want to
he's
wait till
got-
next year if there's a
Give
fine.
us second out of this.
November 20th.
20th.
November 20th.
Ask for a second.
November
I'll give you a second.
I'll second.
Got a second?
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you, sir.
All right, 5.4, is 5.4 here?
It's withdrawn.
Anybody here? 5.4, case 113-19, accept affidavit of non-compliance for respondents, Precision Hotel Management Company at 1812 and 1812 and a half North Florida Harrison Avenue for residential rental business tax receipt. Dixon is the inspector.
Chair, that affidavit has been withdrawn.
Very good, withdrawn, okay. Moving on, 5.5.
5.5.
Case 114-19, accept affidavits of noncompliance for respondents James Hulster and Lynn Heapy, Linda Crotty, Brianna Crotty, Anton Bozic, and Lori Bozic, and I apologize if I pronounce that wrong, at 509 Cedar Street and 9.5 North Garden Avenue for exterior surfaces, door and window openings, abandoned building, and windows.
It's a good job on the name.
Sir, that's you, right? Come on, you're first. So is this in compliance?
What is your name, please?
My name is Anton Bosick, B-O-C-I-E-K.
It's not, gotcha, okay. All right, what would you like to say, sir?
The property that we're talking about is, we inherited them from my father-in-law that passed away in July of 2018, July 29th. We inherited 6 properties. They were in probate for quite some time, and then I thought we did what we needed to do at that time, for the complaints. So I'm here to rectify whatever needs to be done.
Okay, so did Mr. Dixon explain to you that you weren't in compliance?
I received that was the thing. When I received these notices, I went and I did what I thought. We went out and we repaired the windows and we did what we thought we did. The board up did not get painted, so, and then I had the tenant paint the board up, so I'm not exactly sure after what I did wasn't in compliance. I thought I did what needed to be done for the violations.
Well, then I guess we have to listen to Mr. Dixon.
But I'll be more than happy to fix whatever needs to be done at this point.
Well, we'll call you back.
Yeah, we'll call you back up. Have a seat, Inspector. This is 5.5.
Good afternoon, Board. Greg Dixon, Code Inspector with the City of Clearwater.
Good afternoon.
This is case 114-19 for 912 North Garden and 509 Cedar Street. They're both on the same parcel, 2 separate houses. This case was heard on 7/24/2019. He did go back and board up the doors and windows, but the doors and windows can't be boarded. That's a violation of city code. And he did secure them. This picture on the garage, I think some transients were getting in there. They did secure it. But this building hasn't had utilities for about 4 years. Since January of 2015. So that's why it's an abandoned building, because it's got boarded up windows, hasn't had utilities. Somebody does live in the Cedar address. But this is from this morning. There are no utilities, and this is what the property looks like now. As you can see, they did reboard the windows and painted it, but that's the problem. There's boarded up windows and doors. Paint's peeling and faded. It's kind of hard to tell here, but the back side of the bigger house has boarded up windows. There used to be boarded up windows on the Cedar Street, the small house, but those were taken off, but then the tenant painted over the windows. But there's just exterior surface issues, boarded up windows, just like it was found in violation when you heard the case in July.
So, when you send out the mailing to people, do you include your business card?
Yeah, when I initially wrote the property up, I don't know if I spoke with you. I spoke with there's 3 owners, and I spoke to somebody, and then that's when the boards got reboarded. But then I haven't heard, and I couldn't get in contact with anybody else, so I brought it to the code board.
And Greg, when was the last time you visited this property?
This week.
This week, okay. So everything's
These
still.
last pictures were from yesterday.
Yeah, that's why I was asking, everything's still the same?
Yeah.
Okay.
And your recommendation?
You're accepting affidavit of non-compliance or not?
Right.
This has already been heard before.
Right. All right, sir.
Won't you,
I move to accept the recommendation of compliance. Non-compliance, excuse me.
yeah, you have to read the whole thing.
I want to know, I just wanted to.
Well, Sheila, hold on one second. Is there anything else you'd like to say before we make a motion?
Well, as far as the board ups, and the front door, the double doors in the front, I mean, I'm the son-in-law of the deceased previous owner. Those boards have been up since I married into the family in 2000. Those front doors have been boarded up, and the side window has been boarded up since that time, and have never been an issue.
They finally became aware of it, and
Well, we've been, he's the father, the deceased.
I understand that.
You know. was-
Okay, but somehow it was, nobody said anything or whatever. Somehow the city became aware of it, and then they follow up, and the follow-up resulted in a letter to your state, whoever it went to in that, and then you all went and did some work, but the board up does not follow up with the code requirements, and nobody in your group, okay, and you drew the unlucky straw, you're here, followed up to find out, hey, what do we have to do? And that's why I asked the question, does he put his business card? So whoever got the mailing, got that information, and didn't follow up on it. And now you're sitting here facing this, and you have an abandoned building there. There's no utilities, it's boarded up, it's abandoned by the code.
Well, we just inherited it, yes, so, I mean, yeah, I get it, I
Okay,
understand.
so somehow you, I don't know what your intentions are, but,
Well, at this point, I'm getting 2 bids to demolish the home, because it's in disrepair. I mean, it's not, but he has been keeping up the outside, you know, the yard has always been mowed, the building has not been an
that's good,
eyesore.
and everybody appreciates that, okay? But the problem is we made rulings a few months ago, and nothing was done, and so you're not in compliance.
Well, then I did not know that was,
I
ignorance is, I mean.
So the problem I see here is that they're moving forward, your group is moving forward to have the building demolished, okay? And the city answer to what had to be done with this problem, if it never met compliance, was for it to step in and take over and probably demolish it. And I think it works out best for everybody if he's allowed somehow to, his group is allowed to take care of their problem, and not the city have to assume it.
When have you applied for the demo permit?
No, sir, I'm getting bids now to do, that was one of the options for that property, to either demo it or at least, you know, fix it to where it's on the, not the inside, but the outside to where it's not a problem to the city.
And why didn't you appear at the July 2019 hearing 3 months ago?
Well, unfortunately, I can't speak to the others, but I was on vacation, and I mean, it's not an excuse. I'm just.
But you knew about the hearing?
I personally did not, so I don't know that they didn't, and I.
And did you get a copy of the order that came from the July hearing?
I received this right here. This is what I got. Is this the order?
So when are you going to make a decision about any of this stuff?
Well, we're meeting as a family, you know, after I came here, and we're gonna know what we need to do, and we'll be, you know, we'll do whatever needs to be done.
So when is that?
Well, when is what?
When will you decide, like, if you're gonna demolish it or whatever?
Oh, as soon as we collect the bids, yes, sir, yeah. So we're getting the bids now to knock down the building right now.
How long is that gonna take?
Would say we probably have the bids within the next 2 weeks, or however, as soon as these guys can get out there and get it, and get me the bid.
We need to make a
Is this really covered? Is this really covered?
This one.
Let's see what he finishes up.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So what the city would be willing to do would be to, we'll continue this hearing. And till next month. Or we will ask the board to continue it till next month. If that next month comes around, they may or may not have demolished it by then. What if they have applied for and obtained a permit, will go from there. If they do not do anything, it's basically what I just said to the last gentleman. I'm going to ask for a fine retroactive to August 31st, 2019. And that's a fine of $150 per day per violation. So there's 4 fines. So that's $600 a day for, it'll be 2 months now, we're talking 90 days at least. And that's what we will be asking for on that day. If they're moving along, then we'll regroup and see where we are. But for now, we'll just simply ask the board to pass until next month.
Okay, you understand that?
So if I have, almost, so if I have an application and submitted to the building department for demolition of the building, now there's 2 of them on there. This one here, the tenant there has been a problem, not your problem, but he's not willing to get out, so I'm having to go through that process, but that's another thing. But as far as the front building, and then this building here that has a board on it, if I either fixed all the windows and had everything in compliance, and or had the application for the demo in for the front building, is that what you're asking?
Yeah, if you get the one building into compliance to the Inspector Dixon's satisfaction, that settles that problem. If you have a permit in for demo on the other building, probably what we'll do is we'll ask to continue it again to give you more time to demolish it.
Okay, and then that permit needs to be submitted by what time? By when?
Before
November the 20th is
November 20th.
November 20th.
Wednesday.
Okay, so what you're saying is the building definitely has to be demolished. I can't repair the doors and the windows and have everything from the outside.
Or you can fix that property if you want.
Put a tenant in.
We're just looking to get you somehow in compliance. Now, you can get in compliance with that, you can get in compliance by demoing the property. That's the easiest thing to do. If he wants to fix it up, then you'll have to do more work.
Yeah, no, for sure, yeah.
But what I'm clear with here is we're just passing on it for this month. We'll reassess next month. If he's moving along, then we'll talk again. We'll ask to pass on the affidavit.
So what the city is, they're working with you on this.
No,
You've got a good offer here.
Absolutely.
I'll make a motion.
Go ahead.
I move that we continue case 114-19 to November 20th, 2019.
No, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's carried. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Good luck.
5.6, case 124-19. Are they here? Inspector Jewett?
Sure, you can take 5.6 and 5.7 as one motion, one motion.
Yeah, and you don't need a presentation.
Okay, so we can make a motion to close them out, right?
Yes.
I move to accept the affidavit of non-compliance and issue an order that states that fines and fees remain unpaid 3 months after such lien is filed. The city is authorized to foreclose, collect, or settle such lien. This is in reference to cases 124-19 and 134-19. I really said something.
Give me a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Other board actions, 7-point nuisance abatement lien filings. Can we do these all in one group, Nicole?
We, all except, to my knowledge, 7.4 has complied prior.
But this is kind of like, if the board recalls, it was like what we did last month where they complied after the compliance date but before the hearing. So what the code allows and what the city asks for is a declaration of violation for a nuisance abatement.
Okay, so we could do the other three.
Whatever he said sounds good.
We could do 7.1, 7.2, 7.3, get those out of the way. And then you want us to do 7.4
As a declaration.
as a declaration, okay. Can we do that, guys? I need a motion on the nuisance abatement for .1, .2, .3. I think it's page 7.
Okay. I move to enter an order finding the respondent in violation of code and requiring the respondents to correct the violations. This relates to cases 229-19, 230-19, 231-19. Within 30 days of the board's written order?
That's right.
5 days.
What'd you say?
7.3 is the one that's complied.
35?
7.4.
Speak up, young lady.
It's usually 5 days.
Oh, 5 days.
for-
Within let me correct that, within 5 days of the board's written order,
Wait,
which
I'm
would
sorry.
be,
Excuse me, I apologize, I don't mean to interrupt. It was actually 7.3 that complied. Is that correct?
Correct.
3 is the declaration.
7.1, 7.2, and 7.4
okay.
did not comply?
Right.
All right, that's not a
I
problem.
rescind my motion.
There you
Let's
go.
start again.
Okay.
I move to enter an order finding the respondent in violation of code and requiring the respondents to correct the violations. This is in reference to cases 229-19, 230-19, and 232-19
Correct.
by October 28th, 2019.
Yep.
Okay.
Good
The
job.
respondent does not comply with the time specified. The city may take all reasonable actions, including entry onto the property, to abate and maintain the nuisance and charge the respondent with reasonable costs, which will become a lien on the property. If costs, fines, and fees remain unpaid 3 months after such lien is filed, the city is authorized to foreclose, collect, or settle such lien.
Good job.
I need a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's carried. I need a declaration on 7.3.
I move, okay, let's do it. Regarding case 231-19, I move to find the respondent was in violation of code as referred to in affidavit in this case. The violation was corrected prior to today's hearing, and to enter an order that no fine be imposed. If the respondent repeats the violation, the board may impose a daily fine and order the city to take all reasonable actions to abate and maintain the nuisance, including entry onto the property, and charge the respondent with those costs, fines, and fees which will become a lien on the property.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Hey, before we adjourn,
Chair, real
Yes.
quick, let's revisit the nuisance abatements that, did you say October 29th as the complaint?
28th.
28th, because typically those are 5 days.
Okay, today's the 23rd, add 5 days?
5 days from when the order
Order
is
is signed.
issued.
oh, so you go one
Yeah.
day, that's 29.
Yeah, well, I have to
No.
wait till they're signed, and then they get 5 days. So
Okay.
whenever we get the orders done and signed.
You want me to redo the whole thing?
No,
No.
just,
Make a
if
motion?
you tell us 5 days,
5 days.
Okay.
we'll,
Make it 5 days.
All orders to be done 5 days after the order has been signed.
yes, okay, thank you.
Okay. Hey, before we adjourn, this is
It's like
Dan,
my wife saying, sign here, I think.
this is Dan's last day. He's been here 3 years. So I just want to congratulate him.
Oh.
Done a good job. 3 years.
I hope to be back if I get voted in.
And I congratulate you for what you guys do,
Yes,
and we're
and our
adjourned.
city attorney as well. Kind of raped him over the calls today.
Good job, Dan.
Thank you, Becky. Thank you. I hope
Good job, you too.